Hello and welcome! I am leveling back again today as a specimen in a space helmet because we are back again with more Outer Wilds. How is everyone doing today? I hope you're doing well. Last time on Outer Wilds, we explored Giant's Deep and then proceeded to hit a lot of walls. There were a few different spots on, there's one on Interloper, one on Giant's Deep, one in Brittle Hollow at the Sunless City, where I had gotten stuck due to ghost matter. Haven't found a way around that yet. I've been unable to get to the Sun Station because the teleporter on the Ash Twin is blocked by cacti, and I don't know how to get around that. And gosh, there was one other thing that I was getting stuck on that I'm forgetting off the top of my head. And then there is the anglerfish in the Dark Bramble that I still don't quite know how to circumvent yet. We've learned that it is blind, but I don't think that has necessarily given any additional information. So I ended up asking a friend who either has played before or has watched playthroughs before. He knows what he's talking about. And I was like, hey, these are all the different places that I've gotten stuck. And I don't know where I should be going. And he suggested that I do a little bit more investigation on the Dark Bramble with our anglerfish friend. So that is the plan for today. Why can I not focus on this? Well, that's a little unfortunate. It would be really nice if I could, weird. Huh. Okay. Let me see what the controls are for keyboard, because I really don't want to have to manually navigate to all of my planets. Let's see, flight maybe? Match velocity, autopilot. Nope, not that. General. View map, flashlight. Huh. Equipment? Lock on. Okay. So let us try locking on one more time with our controller. Okay, and if we can't, maybe we can lock on. Okay. I might just have to switch to mouse whenever I want to lock on, which is fine. Alright, what are we looking at? Dark Ramble is off in this direction. There it is. Hooray for autopilot! I guess it wouldn't be that bad to manually navigate, since it does show like trajectories. It shows you like, oh, you need to be going in this direction relative to the planet instead of just like, oh, this is where the planet is. So I guess it would be doable, but I don't necessarily trust myself to navigate smoothly the way that autopilot does. So given that we know that the anglerfish is blind, and we also know that the anglerfish is able to locate us when we enter the dark bramble, we have to assume that the anglerfish has some other sense that it's relying on. So I'll be honest, the first thing that I thought about was electric signals. The shark family has this organ known as the ampullae of Lorenzo. And that is a sensory organ that senses electric fields. So that was my first assumption. And if that is the case, we might have to just ditch our spacecraft. My second hypothesis was that it operates based off of sound, in which case we would be able to get in with our spacecraft, but we would not really be able to fire it to navigate. And given that we've gotten this close to it without it noticing, I think that is the case. I don't know if there's necessarily a way out for us here. I guess I should have entered with a little bit more velocity, momentum. That's probably the better word for it. So I don't know how exactly I'm going to go about navigating to other stuff that's inside the dark bramble if I can't fire my thrusters once I'm inside. So it's possible that we'll just have to drift very slowly and then enter the dark bramble from the different holes. I guess that would make sense. So I guess if I were to spin around now... Oh, interesting. So that is not loud enough to for the anglerfish to notice. I guess I will try firing off some of my thrusters. I assume that that will cause it to wake up. Yep, there it is. Okay. So now we're going to test our second theory. Okay, well, I was too slow. But my second theory, or I guess my first theory, was that I would have to navigate into the brittle hollow, not the brittle hollow, the dark bramble, without my ship and just rely on my jetpack. That might still be the case once I get in far enough, since I can't fire off my thrusters anymore. I might just have to hop out and use my jetpack. And since the jetpack is a much smaller amount of thrust, that it would not be enough to notify our anglerfish friend. So let's try it again. I hope that this will bear some fruit. Oh, interesting. It works now. Cool. We take those, I guess. Let's see. Let's scoot on over this way. Try not to crash back into the try not to crash back into Timber Hearth. Hopefully we also avoid the sun. That would be ideal. Fantastic. I love that for me. My last couple of days have been alright. I mentioned previously that I'd written a bit of poetry, and I've also read some of my own poetry on stream before. And one of the poems that I'd written was much more personal than the one that I'd written on stream, which makes it really difficult to edit. Because there's a lot of emotion, I guess, tied up in the material. Interesting. I'm pretty sure we came in through a different hole this time. Oh, okay, so each one of the white lights is probably a different anglerfish. And then the red light is probably what we're trying to get to. Okay, well, here goes nothing, I guess. Okay, so exiting the ship and the whoosh of oxygen causes it to notice us. Okay, so in that case, I do think I need to leave my ship outside of the Dark Bramble and just go in by jetpack. So while my initial assumption of the electromagnetic sensory organ, the ampullae of Lorenzo, is incorrect, the anticipated solution is still going to get us to the still going to get us to where we're trying to go. Hopefully. We'll see. It may not. We'll just have to figure it out. Okay, great. We're going to clear the sun here. So in my while I was pondering over this conundrum, I did watch a spoiler-free review of Outer Wilds, and it was only in watching the review that I realized that everything changes with time. I'd initially kind of just... Ow! I Okay. I didn't realize I was moving that hard. I'm just gonna navigate back to our ship and apply some first aid. Because that hurt, my goodness. Excellent, okay. Fantastic. Let us find a way in, shall we? Well, this option looks as good as any. It may put us, it may start us out a bit further away from our target, which I assume is the red light, than we might otherwise, but that's okay. Hey Craig, welcome to the stream. I don't believe I've seen your face around before, so I hope you enjoy what you see. This is where the fun begins. Well, I'm looking forward to it. I've been stymied by the, oh gosh. Okay. Okay. Noted. So they still feel, they still have the sense of touch. I figured at some point in this game there would be some amount of like Russian nesting doll of galaxies. So while this might not specifically be it, definitely gives Russian nesting doll vibes. All right, let's try that again. What am I looking at here? On our suit. Off we pop. Back to the dark bramble. Okay. Let's try not to crash back into Timberhearth. I remember those three guys very well from when I used to speedrun this. Oh, wow. What was it like speedrunning this game? The only thing I knew about Outer Wilds prior to starting this playthrough. Run killer if you did a misinput. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense given what we just saw. The only thing that I knew about Outer Wilds prior to starting this playthrough was that it was possible to play through the entire game without the ship, and the only reason that I knew that was because I saw Outer Wilds on the most recent GDQ schedule, Games of Quick, which I assume you know if you're in the speedrunning community. And they had a shipless run scheduled, and that's the only thing that I knew going into this playthrough. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, so now we know we have to navigate around the fish. Shipless runners are a different breed. Even further are the suitless runners. Suitless? Oh my goodness, that is nuts. As someone who is very casually playing through the game for the first time, I can't imagine. I can't even imagine shipless, to be honest. I don't think... I'm not sure if I would be able to leave Timberhearth if I could not use my ship. So mad respect to all of the speedrunners out there. Oh, okay. I didn't realize we were that close. So the jetpack still will alert the anglerfish. Good to know. I wonder how far around I have the option of navigating. We shall see. This, given how this stream has started, I imagine that this will clock in the most deaths, the highest density of deaths of any of my streams. Because this is definitely going to be tricky. But that's okay, we're learning. Leaving Timber Hearth is honestly the easiest part. Use a geyser, spam, scout, and jetpack boost to get the momentum you need. Doing the lineups to get to the planets is the hard part. Yeah, there was a very brief period in the game, in this playthrough, I guess, where I had fallen into the black hole in Brittle Hollow and had gotten to the White Hole Station. But I hadn't discovered... Oh dear, I'm gonna fly into this sun, aren't I? I hadn't discovered the actual White Hole Station yet, so I just was... I just knew about, like, oh, hey, I'm at a white hole now, and my ship is back on the Brittle Hollow. So I tried navigating back to the Brittle Hollow using my jetpack, and that was a pain. But now that I think about it, I also hadn't learned that... Actually, I'm not sure. If you are outside of the ship, whether or not it shows the like the trajectories, like the XY velocities of the planet. Oh, there goes our ship. Well, that's probably fine. I'll probably die before I can get back to it, so that'll have to be fine. So I tried navigating back to the Brittle Hollow and did an absolutely terrible job of it. That was actually my first encounter with the Dark Bramble. I ended up overshooting the Brittle Hollow, and because of how the orbital mechanics went, I was like, well, I might be able to line up with the Dark Bramble if I'm lucky. And I managed to get there, but then immediately hopped in and got nommed by a fish, so not too much came out of it. Okay, let us remain silent as we slowly drift past our fish friend. It's unfortunate that I'm not a fish friend. I'm merely I'm merely fish food in this instance. Okay. Signal scope might be useful. Okay. I will keep that in mind. I'm not sure what exactly I would be looking for with it, but I guess we'll see. Okay, so I need to navigate probably up and around. Okay. Wow, that's a lot of fish. It's a lot of fish. I'm really scared that I'm now too close to this one to our right to touch the controls. And I did just hear one of the fish screams. I'm not sure what exactly that means for me. Alright, I think we've drifted far enough that we can do a little bit of readjusting here. So what was your favorite and or least favorite parts of speedrunning this game? And I guess sort of similarly, what made you choose this game to speedrun? Whoa. The heck is that? Um, I'm kind of scared. I don't know what I should be doing with this. I assume these are eggs. That's a lot of eggs. Okay. Hmm. Oh, I guess I should pull out my signal scope, maybe? Speedrun is quick, successful runs take less than 20 minutes, and resets are really fast. Wow, that is... I guess that makes sense, because that would be less than one supernova. You basically one cycle it. Yeah, that tracks. Okay. Getting a hang of the lineups and the physics is satisfying. Oh, yeah, I bet. Okay, well, that looks like another entrance. So I guess we'll sort of navigate off in this direction. And why did I choose the game? I just love it too much. Good answer. Good answer. I'd imagine you need to love something quite dearly in order to put in the amount of time that you would need to be able to speedrun it to any degree. I've never done any speedrunning myself, but I can only imagine. And as mentioned before, massive respect to all of y'all speedrunners. Okay, so this is our fourth knot, I guess? I'll call it knot for the sake of my having a convenient word to use. Oh, okay, that light just went out. That is kind of terrifying. Oh, okay, I might have just gone behind something. I don't know what I'm supposed to be navigating towards. Because with the first couple of instances, I was like, oh, okay, the red one is different. The white lights are all anglerfish. So let's avoid those. And now that we're targeting white lights, I don't know what I should be... don't know what I should be looking for. Alright. So I don't think we're going to be long for this world. I'm not sure how much I've managed to learn. Okay, that is in fact an anglerfish. Okay, so there still are anglerfish this far in. Gosh. Alright, yeah, that's fair. I guess if I'm going to die anyways, I may as well be fish food. Take a drink, stay hydrated. Okay, I'm gonna check the ship's log really quick. I don't know if we've necessarily discovered anything new, but always good to check. Alrighty. Does not appear that we've learned anything new. Great. I guess we'll just toss ourselves back into it then. So as I had previously mentioned, I went into this game knowing basically nothing about it. It was a request from a friend of mine to stream it. And I was like, well, you're the only one who watches my streams, so I guess I will. So you can find my entire playthrough in a playlist on my channel if that is something you're interested in. There's a few streams where I ran some bitrate issues, so there's visual lag the entire time, and I took several streams to actually figure out what the problem was. But we've sorted them out now, as you can tell, since I hope that there's no longer any visual lag. Okay, let us try this again. That's not the button I wanted. I forgot my suit. This is not the first time that this has happened. You think I would learn by now? I've spent like 20 hours with this game, maybe? Somewhere around there? And I'm still managing to leave my ship without my suit. Rookie mistake, absolutely. It's definitely a mistake that I made when I was far greener around the gills. Killed a run before doing that. Oh, that must feel terrible. And I would say that that's probably a mistake that you'd only make once, but honestly, I've made that mistake so many times that I could not, in good faith, in good conscience, say that it's probably a mistake that you only ever make once. Alright. Back at it. Hopefully we won't navigate into the sun. We might navigate into the sun here. Oh boy. It's pretty close. Cutting it close, but we made it, I guess. There was a couple of times last stream where, because I wasn't sure how else to make progress, in desperation I tried landing on the sun station a couple of times with the ship. That did not go very well. Gave up on that pretty darn quickly as a result. Alright, we are definitely in our suit now. Okay, sure, that is fair. Okay, and hopefully we can make this through unscathed. That would certainly be ideal. very quiet. Okay, that's a fish off to our right. Okay, good to know. This is not close enough for them to notice the jetpack. Okay. So that was the first knot. I guess we'll call the planet itself knot 0. That was the first knot. This is the second one. Okay, so then here. Whoa. So I think here is the one where we found the eggs. Oh, is this supposed to happen? Oh, it can't get its jaws around me because I'm up against the ceiling. Okay. Okay. Yeah, this is gonna be a little bit rough. I can feel it. Okay, so I still need to figure out, once I get past the second knot, the one with the eggs, how exactly I need to go about navigating. So I'm not sure if at that point there's like only a single point of interest that I should be navigating to, which is to say like another knot. Since they started providing white light, which is also the light that the anglerfish themselves give off. And we have encountered anglerfish beyond that second knot. So I'll have to figure out if there's a way of differentiating between the lights, I guess. Alternatively, I can just bubble around until I find the right one. Given that I haven't really noticed a way of differentiating between the light sources, I'm going to assume that there is only one point of interest in each layer. Okay. But once again, I could be wrong. It's definitely possible that there are multiple points of interest within each layer. And the fact that I'm treating each layer as just like a navigation task might be the incorrect approach. Because right now in my mind, each layer is just, okay, get from point A, which is where you came in, to point B, which is the intended target. Wait, hold on. Did that light just... Okay. We had just gotten a little bit turned around. Oh dear, that's a lot of bright lights. That is definitely concerning. Okay, let's take a moment to... Maybe I will just turn around and find a different entrance. Is that an option? Okay. That is not what I expected. Okay, so do I come in to the same layer and the same entrance? Oh dear. There is definitely too much information to process for my teeny tiny little brain. Too many things to think about. Okay, so it is good to know that I can reset if I need to for whatever reason. It does concern me that it means resetting to the outside of the planet. Alright, let's try looking for a different entrance, because that looks like a lot of white lights clustered in between me and the red light. So maybe this will be a little bit better. I think this is the exact opposite side. So I'm gonna try a different angle. Hopefully this will get us a better trajectory through. Nope, it all looks about the same. Okay, good enough. At least it looks like through this trajectory, the red is... Okay, I was gonna say in between me and the anglerfish, but that does not appear to be the case. I wonder if the sound of me bashing up against a wall will also notify the fit. I imagine it would. Okay, so that was that the first layer? I think that might have been the first layer. So now this coming up is theoretically the second layer? Yes, this is the second layer because it has all the eggs. And I still don't know what to do with this information. And it has not given us more information in the ship's log. So I guess we just have to keep going. Everything... Okay, let me see if I can find any identifying features. Okay, well that is another layer, another knot. But I have no way of determining like where inside this layer this knot exists. So I can't like I can't guarantee that I can navigate to it, which concerns me. Also, there's currently a thunderstorm going on where I live, so I just got jump scared by thunder. Okay, well this appears to be the only light, so I guess we will just navigate towards it. So then this would be layer 4. Okay. And then we had 2 lights, and I'm pretty sure one of them was the anglerfish. I don't know how to determine which one is the anglerfish and which one is not. So I guess we'll just have to hope that every time we enter a knot, it always puts us in the same starting location, in the same trajectory, and that we just navigate to the one that is in front of us. Alright, I'm about to run out of oxygen here. So we're just gonna kind of gun it and hope we can see something new. So this is level 5. Alright, and I'm about to choke to death. Okay. We got further. I don't know if I've necessarily gained any more information. I guess confirmation that I should be moving faster through through this space. That is most of what I've picked up. Oh gosh. I didn't realize there was a different sound effect for reviving post suffocation. That is a little terrifying, not gonna lie. I mentioned this before on stream, but I have a bit of a fear of heights. And there are some games where falling is something that they very much make it obvious that it is something that is discouraged. So the first game that I encountered that had this was Mirror's Edge. And with Mirror's Edge, when you fell, okay, that was kind of dicey. When you fell, it would play this whooshing sound as you fell, getting louder and louder, and then it would fade to black, and then there would be like this meaty thud for signifying that you've hit the ground. And it always made me so squeamish. Even though it faded to black, I had to close my eyes every time it happened. And the Outer Wilds Fall Death, even though, oh right, I should not be in this. I'm gonna get nommed, aren't I? Okay, that is better than I expected. I was kind of afraid that the rush of oxygen leaving the ship would notify. Wait, hold on. That is different. Okay, let's try navigating to this then, I suppose. Okay. I don't know if we've encountered a knot with a single white light before. Maybe at like level 6 last time? Level 5 or 6, something like that. Because I think all the other, oh dear, that is still a fish. Okay. Hello, friend. I don't have anything else to navigate by. So I guess I will just follow this branch until I can't follow this branch anymore. Well, this is interesting. Okay, so now we are on the outer edge of this layer. which is layer 1. And I need to find a way back out. This looks like it might be a way back out. What the heck? Okay, so now we're back at layer 0, I guess. Well, that's a fun little detour, I suppose. I've wasted quite a bit of resources making that little extra journey. So hopefully I'll still be able to get wherever I'm supposed to be trying to get to with what I've got left. Yep, real scary. Don't mind me. Just passing through. Making my way downtown. Okay, so now we are at the eggs. And I think we navigated to this far white light. Nope, that is anglerfish. Cool, okay. Well, that is another knot, so I guess we'll try this one. This feels similar to what we did last time, I think. Okay. And now we'll just pick a light and go at it, I suppose. And we'll just cross our fingers that it's the one I'm supposed to be going towards. Great, it is. I love it when that happens. I think for both the previous layer and this current layer, the expectation is to just go towards whichever white light we're aligned with when entering. That seems to be the case. At least it was the case for that first white light. We'll see if this one is also the correct light that we're supposed to be going towards. Okay, great, it is. Fuel level critical. That's the well. I don't really have a solution for that. Okay. I think one more, and then we have a layer with just one light, and then that's the one that I suffocated on last time. So hopefully we make it. We do still have a little bit of oxygen left, and a little bit of fuel as well. So hopefully it is enough. That still has 2 lights, which concerns me, because I'm pretty sure previously, at some point, I went into a layer that only had 1 light available. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I just didn't see it because there was something in the way. Or I was too busy panicking about my O2 level. I've definitely missed stuff that's happened on screen for far less pressing matters. Okay, I'm starting to feel like I'm stuck in a loop. Which may well be the case. Oh boy. Okay, in that case, I'm gonna try navigating to the other white light really quick. Okay, we are out of fuel. We are now using oxygen. That is an anglerfish. Okay. So there were like 3 or 4 layers where there were 2 lights, and I'm pretty sure one of the lights is the knot that I'm trying to get to, and the other one is an anglerfish. So I don't know if it's just like a, oh, I have to go deeper, or if it's just like a, nope, this always loops back to the same place, and you just need to find a different spot. Which concerns me a little bit. It feels like I haven't really learned anything new in the past couple of lives. I'm not sure if I'm bashing my head into a wall when the answer should be just go around the wall. Hey Adam, welcome to the stream. Just joining. What do you know so far? What's your current goal? Just catching up. Haha. Okay, so I have explored basically everything that I've had access to, to the best of my understanding. So we've been through all of the points of interest of Timberhearth. We've gone to the Addle Rock and talked to, gosh, it's been so long that I don't remember who is on the Addle Rock. We talked to the NPC that's on the Addle Rock. I've gone through the Brittle Hollow, made it to the top of the Tower of Quantum Knowledge. Esker, thank you. Made it to the top of the Tower of Quantum Knowledge. Explored the Hourglass Twins. I think the only place that I've not explored in the Hourglass Twins was there's a section of the Sunless City that I can't get to because it is blocked off by ghost matter. I'm in my suit. Okay, great. Okay. Thanks, ship, I guess. I've been through a fair bit of the Ash Twin. I've not figured out a way to get into the Ash Twin project, and I've not figured out a way to get into the Sun Station teleporter because there are cacti in the way. So that's the Hourglass Twins. I've explored Giant's Deep. I think, once again, I've explored everything on Giant's Deep with the exception of something that was blocked by ghost matter. I've gotten to the end of the Tower of Quantum Trials. And I was briefly on the Interloper, and then once again got stuck, got blocked by ghost matter. I think that's everything. So at the end of last stream, it felt like I had run out of options. It felt like everything was sort of, oh dear, I may end up as fish food here. We'll just hold our breath and pray. Oh my goodness. I'm still alive. We take those. Okay, that's my bad. I should have waited a little bit longer, a little bit more patient. So at the end of last stream, I felt like I'd hit a wall in a number of different places, as I've discussed, because there were just things that were blocking me and I didn't have any solutions to them. So I spoke to a friend who had initially, he was initially the one who recommended that I play Outer Wilds. And I said like, hey, these are the places that I feel that I'm stuck on. Oh, and then, at the time I didn't think that I had a solution for the anglerfish. I just knew that they were blind. Um, so I said like, hey, these are the areas that I've sort of hit a wall. Um, what would be your recommendation for next steps, more or less? And he's like, well, like, why don't you think you know of the way to get past the anglerfish? And I was like, well, for most of the other solutions that I've come across in the Outer Wilds, it's stated like very explicitly. It's like something that will be written in the ship's log and be like, hey, this is the solution to this problem, this obstacle. And because I didn't feel like simply knowing that they were blind was clear enough of a solution, I just kind of wrote it off. And he's like, well, you can kind of make a guess, right? Based off of that information, what senses they do have. So, amusingly enough, my first hypothesis was that they can sense electric signals because sharks and a few other creatures in that family have this organ called the ampullae of Lorenzo. And it is a sensory organ that senses electric fields. Ow. So my initial thought was to leave the ship and enter with just the jetpack, which, ironically, the idea that they're sensing electric signals is not correct, but the solution that I came up with was the correct solution. So now I'm just trying to navigate through the dark bramble, and I'm hoping that it'll give me... Are you a biologist or something? That's such a niche piece of information to even know. Actually, it's just because I was at an aquarium recently, and that was just one of the things that I learned while I was at the aquarium. It was one of those like little plaques by one of the tanks that they had sharks in. They were like, "Hey, did you know this?" And I was like, "Oh man, that's kind of cool. I'm playing this game with terrifying fish in it, and they're clearly able to sense something other than sight, other than light, I guess. So maybe this is it." Smiley face with 4 eyes, yes. Because we are Harthians after all. So I'm really hoping that navigating through all of this will give me a solution to one of the other locations that I mentioned, because if it doesn't, I honestly don't know what I'm going to do with myself. I was honestly kind of tempted to... Oh dear, I'm gonna get stuck here, aren't I? Okay, I'm just gonna be patient and let the fish drift by. I was honestly debating whether or not to try tackling this section off stream, because if it was like I navigate through this in 5 minutes and then once again I am stuck without direction, I still feel like I've got walls in front of every single one of my options. I didn't want to just be like, okay, well, I guess there's like the rest of the stream is just me puttering about trying to figure out a path forward. So in a way, I'm glad that I've bumbled about this location so much thus far. So at least it's given me something to talk about and to think about, and time to chew on stuff. Wait, hold on. Hold on. That's an anglerfish. That is also an anglerfish. Okay, let's try this one. So I originally had a hypothesis that regardless of where you enter a new layer, like which entrance you go through, you always come out in the same starting location within that next layer. And I'm not sure if that is actually the case or not. I've not paid enough attention to like the specific anglerfish orientations going into that first and second layer to really have formulated a conclusion. So, if you don't mind me asking, what do you enjoy about watching an Outer Wilds stream? Because so much of the game is discovery and exploration. And obviously, you know, once you've played it, you've seen everything. Hey man, how you doing? Hey Enrique, welcome to the stream. I hope you enjoy what you stick around for. I've been doing all right. Just navigating my way around some anglerfish. It's been a harrowing experience thus far. I love hearing your ideas and thoughts. Well, I'm glad I can make you happy that way. Because it is definitely helpful to be able to vocalize and process through all this information. Once you played it, you know all the solutions, and so it's a bit cathartic to experience the ignorance through someone else. Amazing. You can be validated for like all the places that you got stuck when you see other people also get stuck there. IDK, Outer Wilds is just another kind of vibe. Guess it's just that I like chilling here. Hey, I can appreciate that too. Yes, exactly. Oh dear, I'm running out of oxygen already. Oh no. This might be another bunk life. Got too distracted talking about all of the things that I've been trying to ponder my way through. It's also nice to listen to people play while I work because it's a very chill game. Ah. Are you working right now? And if you are, what kind of work is it, if you don't mind me asking? So the other... What's your job, Adam? Just curious. Yep, me too. Also curious here. The other content that I make on this channel... Oh yeah, I'm definitely running out of oxygen. No! Alright. The other content that I make on this channel is translated covers. I'm not very good at it, but you know, it's something that I enjoy doing. So a lot of the... Basically all of the work, I guess. I guess the translating itself is an exception, but a lot of the work that goes into these projects is very like audio heavy, so it's really difficult for me to watch streams while working on like my hobby stuff. Working from home today and tomorrow. Software engineer currently setting up a custom OS install for device for our robots. Whoa, that's so cool. That's nutty. What kind of robots do you work on? Unless that is, like proprietary information that you're not allowed to share. Such a complex job, I think I wouldn't understand anything from there. That's okay. We all have our own talents and specializations. Sounds way cooler than it is, lol. I mean, I feel like that's kind of the way for all jobs, right? Like, there's always going to be some parts of the job that sound really cool and exciting. But the reality is that there's a lot of work that goes into supporting those, like that part of the job that is exciting, that isn't quite as interesting. And that's just kind of the reality of jobs. Work for a contractor for the military, it's drones. Oh, whoa. That's cool. I studied mechanical engineering in college. So, and I'm also based sort of on the Eastern Seaboard. So a lot of the work that I applied for when I first started job hunting was all like, military related work. Ow! Oh gosh. Okay, that's entirely my bad. Okay, so I think I can go into the first layer with the ship and then exit, and I'll be far enough away from the anglerfish that they won't immediately jump on me. And that's probably wiser than just crashing into the outside of the bramble and breaking my legs. So why don't we plan for that? A bunch of my friends are mechanical engineers. They ended up going into software development. Honestly, that's really fair. Mechanical engineering is very much something that requires you to be like where stuff is, and software isn't. And even during my education, software and coding was something that we learned a little bit about. It was not necessarily something that we got a ton of background, like depth-wise in, but we did have a couple of classes that basically provided us with enough knowledge to be dangerous, as one of my professors liked to put it. Yeah, it turns out it's way easier to teach a mechanical engineer to code than it is to teach a programmer mechanical engineering. I can definitely see that being the case, since coding is so like heavily numbers and logic driven. And mechanical engineers spend a lot of their education learning about and thinking in those ways. Is that fish some kind of VTuber character, or is it just my imagination? Yes, it is a live 2D model. It is something that is free to use. I believe there's a link in the description for where I found the model. So if you're interested, you can go find it. So creative, haha. Yeah, I didn't really want to do face cam when I first started out. So when I first started streaming, because how should I put this? I have ADHD, and one of the hallmarks of ADHD is that we tend to hyperfixate on an interest. So we get like really, really into something, and then we'll sink a ton of time and effort into it, and then at some point that interest will dissipate, and then we'll just put the thing down and never touch it again. So because I know this about myself, I sort of resolved when I first got into this stuff. Okay, I do think that we enter each layer at the same location. I'm just gonna voice that out loud. Oh, dang it. Oh man. I got cocky. So because I know this about myself, that I'm very much the type of person to like latch onto something really hard and then suddenly have that desire just like evaporate. I was like, I'm going to do this with as little starting investment as possible. And this is kind of my approach for all of my hobbies. If there is not a way for me to like dip my feet into the waters at a what I consider like a reasonably low cost, then I just say, nope, this is not something that I'm going to allow myself to pursue. Lately, I've been thinking about starting a YouTube channel. I don't like the idea of putting my face in the videos yet, so VTuber characters seem like a good alternative. Yeah, definitely the case. That's how I got here. So when I first started, I just used a really terrible PNG that I tossed together in like 15 minutes. And I had it set up so that when I spoke, it lit up, and that was literally it. And then over time, as I discovered, like, okay, yeah, you know, I feel like I have gotten fairly invested into this, I started, I'm just gonna boost this around the sun a little bit. Over time, as I sort of confirmed that, you know, this was something that I was still interested in, I put in a little bit more effort. So I use VTuber Studio, VTube Studio, and then just a couple of different live 2D models that I found online where the creators were like, here, this is free to use. Here comes the sun, doo 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 doo. Yeah, I've definitely crashed into the sun a couple of times. Just like, there's this absolutely fantastic comedic timing moment that I have in one of my streams where I'm like, man, I'm really glad that the autopilot exists. And then I immediately just like crashed into the sun. So be careful with those anglerfish. What a jump scare. Yeah, I've gotten jump scared by them a couple of times already. This is probably like, I'm probably into my double digit of lives into this stream. And all I've done this stream is dive into the dark bramble. So I use VTube Studio, and then a couple of different live 2D models that I found online that the creators were just like, hey, you know, this is a really simple model that I've put together that is free to use for anyone who wants to use it. Some of them are like, hey, please just like credit me, and that is all I need from you. Gosh, okay, I need to figure out a consistent way to get around that guy. It's a little difficult because I think I just have to like, I think I just have to boost early and then rely on momentum to carry me like farther out of my way, and then just like navigate back after I pass him. Some of the creators are like, hey, it would be great if you could credit me when you use it, and others are like, whatever, you can use it, that's fine. You don't even need to credit me. So I have this model, which is a goldfish in a bowl, and then I just overlay a space helmet onto it because I thought it was funny um, for my Outer Wilds stream. And then the other game that I'm currently playing on stream is Another Crab's Treasure. So I found, once again, a free-to-use crab live 2D model. So I used that one for Another Crab's Treasure. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. I'm not sure what game I'm going to play after I finish one of the games that I'm currently playing. And I'm not sure what exact L2D model I will be using when that happens. Actually, I take that back. I think the game that I'm going to be playing after I finish either Another Crab's Treasure or Outer Wilds is this game that was just released about a week ago. I think it might have been exactly a week ago, called Tactical Breach Wizards. I like the goldfish, yeah, but don't you think setting it to the top left would be better? IDK, it would look more like an actual streamer talking. Maybe. I'll play around with it. I think that there, I don't know. I'm not sure what is currently like meta for camera placement. Maybe something to play around with. Oh, that's not the right button. It's fine. Everything's fine as long as we make it in. Cool. Seems to me that everyone puts their camera up there. Maybe one day I'll understand why. Yeah, I don't know. With Outer Wilds, I didn't think it necessarily make sense to put it in the upper left, just because that's where the O2 and the fuel gauges are, and I feel like that's good information for viewers to have. And the reason that it is not placed like completely in the lower right-hand corner is because with Another Crab's Treasure, there's like some HUD elements there, and I just use the same positioning, even though I'm swapping out models. Okay, I think we can make it past this guy. So yeah, the next game I'm thinking about playing on stream is called Tactical Breach Wizards, and it is a tactics game involving mages that I've been following for about 7 years. Okay, so I'm gonna try and slow myself down. We're going to hug this top wall, and hopefully that will be enough to get us around. Now that you're playing it, what is Outer Wilds about? I just heard that it is a chill game, but those anglerfish completely contradict that. So I don't feel like I've really gotten much of an answer as to what the game is about. It is very much a game that, to the best of my understanding, is best experienced completely blind. So if you have any interest, yeah, you probably shouldn't watch this stream. Yeah, so if you have any interest in playing, then I suggest you not watch. But if you don't mind spoilers for whatever reason, then the game is primarily an exploration and investigation kind of a game. Dang it, that is also an anglerfish. All right, where am I trying to go? That is an anglerfish. Okay, maybe this one? I shouldn't, you're right, haha. Yep, I will definitely not be offended if you decided, hey, I do want to experience this game, so I don't want to be here to see what happens. And if that is the case, then I wish you all the best, and thanks for spending what time you have spent with me already. And I guess if you don't mind spoilers, then I will keep talking about what my experience with the game has been thus far. So, to the best of my understanding, this game is a game about exploration and discovery, and it is at its heart an investigation. So there's essentially like a mystery that you're trying to solve, but instead of like a murder, it's just like, hey, this is something that has happened. Why is this happening? I realize now that I'm still trying to avoid spoilers as much as possible. So I do apologize if I end up being a bit vague. I was about to leave, so I'll keep myself safe from spoilers. Good night from Spain. Bye. Take care. Thanks for hanging out. And enjoy whenever you get around to playing Outer Wilds. Get the game and play it. So, I'll be honest, Outer Wilds is definitely not a game that I would have played if it hadn't specifically been a friend of mine saying like, hey, you should play this on stream. For the most part, I am a social gamer, which means that can't wait. Must be a good game. Yep. Good luck whenever you do end up tackling it. So I'm primarily a social gamer, which means that the reason that I tend to play games is to like spend time with people hanging out. And prior to streaming, that meant that for the most part I played multiplayer games so that I could, spend time with people. And beyond that, I tend to avoid longer single-player experiences. Things that have very definitive short session. Oh gosh, I'm gonna run out of oxygen again. Okay, I need to remember to go much faster after I pass the first 2 layers, because I think at that point there are fewer anglerfish. I'm kind of surprised that there isn't oxygen, because it very much feels like there's atmosphere of some kind, just with like the amount of drag that it feels like there is. And given that it's the dark bramble and thus kind of woody, I've lost count of how many layers we've gone through. If you don't mind me asking what exactly you're trying to do, sorry, I've just seen you go through the dark bramble a lot. That honestly is what I've been trying to do. I feel like I've run into walls in all of the other locations. So the dark bramble is sort of like the only thing that I have left to explore. And I don't feel like I've found any answers within the dark bramble. So in my mind, I've just been like missing something. So I'm not sure if it's like oh, I haven't gone fast enough. I haven't reached what I'm trying to reach in the Dark Bramble. Which, given that the past few lives I've, made it a fair few layers deep, I'm starting to think that I'm not on the right track. But at the same time, once again, I don't feel like I have any other clues. Like I've not gained any more information about the Dark Bramble, despite having gone through it. And I don't think that I have any other information to gain from the other planets right now. So, oh hell yes, Outer Wilds. Hey Dario, welcome to the stream. I hope you enjoy whatever you stick around for. I've currently spent this stream just kind of hurling myself at the Dark Bramble. I've gotten stuck in a lot of the other planets. Thanks, no problem. I've gotten stuck in a lot of the other planets. On a number of planets, it's due to ghost matter. Haven't found a way. Can I give you a small piece of advice, not a hint? Sure, yeah. Because it appears that I am bashing my head against a wall when there should be a way around it, I will accept. I tend to try and avoid taking clues from viewers, but if I'm stuck like I am now, where I feel like I'm just repeating the same thing and not making any progress, I think it only makes sense. So for Dario, who is just joining, I feel like I've gotten stuck in a number of different locations. All of the puzzles in the game don't require you to bash your head against a wall. They all have good solutions. So if you feel like you're bashing your head, it might be worth trying something else. Okay, that is fair. I do feel like the Dark Bramble is the only... what's the word? The only place that I possibly have a route forward. All of the other planets, I feel like I've explored to a point where there is some wall blocking me that I don't have the answer to. So for a lot of those planets, it's not knowing how to navigate past ghost matter. For the Ash Twin projects, I haven't been able to find a way to get to the actual project itself. Alright, I accept my fate. Excuse me. Take a drink real quick. I've been unable to navigate to the Sun Station because the teleporter on the Ash Twin project to the Sun Station is blocked by cacti. And I think that's that, and then the anglerfish are the things that I had been stuck on. And at least this way, I have discovered a way to navigate around the anglerfish. So as of right now, because I have that, then it at least feels like there is more that I am able to discover in the Dark Bramble. I'm starting to think that after that second or third layer, we just end up in a loop. Because every time I enter a new layer, there's 2 white lights, one of which is an anglerfish, and the other which is the next layer. So I'm not necessarily sure what to do beyond that. Initially, I was just like, oh, I'm not going fast enough. There is eventually going to be like an end destination. But I'm starting to think that I'm latching on to the wrong answer. I do think the eggs has something to do with it, because that is the only other thing that we've encountered thus far that are not anglerfish and additional layers. But I don't know what to do with that information. And the fact that my ship's log has not been updated with any of the things that I've encountered in the Dark Bramble. Further adds to my confusion. Okay, let's see. I think I will try to navigate back to the eggs, because once again, that is the only thing that we've encountered within the Dark Bramble that is not anglerfish or additional layer entrances. What I should be doing after the fact, I don't really know. Am I far enough away from this fella to fire my thrusters? Okay, yes, I am. Okay, so we are at the second layer, and this should be the eggs at the center. Hopefully I have enough momentum after bouncing off that wall that I can make it past these fish. Keep my fingers crossed. I've gotten to the eggs before. What's your favorite planet so far? As of right now, I think it has to be Giant's Deep, just because I feel like everything else had things that would kill me. Giant's Deep just feels like the most relaxed planet thus far. Everything else, there's like very much things that you have to worry about. Okay, so we're back at the eggs. Oh yeah, super relaxing. Yeah. Also, Gabbro is he's a pretty good character. He's a super chill dude. Okay. We found the eggs. There doesn't appear to be any way of interacting with them. I don't know what I'm doing from here. Oh, right. The other place that I got stuck was the Dark Bramble seed that was on Giant's Deep. But once again, that was because of ghost matter, if I remember correctly. Actually, maybe it wasn't. Maybe I should go back and check on that. Maybe... No, I think it was. Well, it's still worth checking out at this point, I suppose. because I don't necessarily have any other paths forward. Alright, I think I'm just going to spend what's left of this life puttering about this layer. And I'll try and see if there's anything else to find. And you can visit our main man, Gabriel. Absolutely. Okay, so I think we have gone through this knot before. And I want to say there were only anglerfish in here. And this is when I had to then navigate back out, and I ended up back outside the planet. But I could be wrong. Okay, never mind. There is another layer here. Okay, so I do very much think that this knot, I guess, is just a loop. That appears to be the case. Because I'm pretty sure I've gone through like 6 or 7 iterations before. And I don't believe I've reached anything that resembles a conclusion. So we'll go ahead and just use what remains of this life to sort of test that hypothesis. So I'll just go through a whole bunch of these layers and see if we end up somewhere that we haven't been already. And then after that, we'll go back to Giant's Deep and maybe check out the dark bramble seed that's there. Okay, yeah, so I think I'm happy to conclude that that knot is in fact just a loop. So I feel like I'm once again out of I don't know what I'm looking for on the dark bramble. I'm not sure if there's more stuff I should be looking for. I don't feel like I have the information to be like, ah yes, this is where I should be going on the dark bramble, or like this is the thing that I should be looking for. So I think I will head back to Giant's Deep. We'll check out the seed that has sprouted there. Dark Bramble is the most annoying planet by far. Oh boy, okay, I'll keep that in mind. I definitely found the Brittle Hollow to be pretty annoying. To be fair, it was sort of like the first real planet that I visited, which I think is, you know, kind of commonplace for most people, because that's sort of the one that they send you to first. So like, I wasn't super familiar with jetpack controls yet, and I didn't really understand like what I was looking for, or even like how to go about looking for stuff. So I definitely found the Brittle Hollow, especially like taking into consideration the fact that sometimes the land just falls out from underneath you. There are definitely things that I found frustrating. Okay, what am I looking for? I'm looking for the seed. Dark Bramble seed. Is that it? I think that is it. I'm pretty sure I was blocked by... Oh, right, that was the other thing that I had been blocked by. I don't know how to get past the electric field at the center of Giant's Deep. Yeah, I do remember that I wasn't able to get very far. I don't think I was able to get to, like, I wasn't able to access the seed itself, just because everywhere that I tried to get to it, I've been blocked off by ghost matter? But hey, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if there's necessarily anything else for me to find here. Not without knowing how to get around. Okay. This, I don't think I'd gotten around to this side before. Oh, well that's fun. Okay, is there anything I can do with this? I'm not really sure if there's anything I can do with this information. Now, is there... Where's the actual seed, though? Oh, okay. Okay, that was a little silly of me. I take full responsibility. Okay, so that... I wish that the Outer Wilds spoiler Discord supported YouTube streams. I mean... Does that mean that you're, like, not allowed to post links to streams? I can definitely understand why they would do that. You don't necessarily want to be, like, flooded with promotional notifications. Okay, I think we'll try going back to Giant's Deep. I still don't have... I don't feel like the Dark Bramble Seed has any information for me to gain at this point. There doesn't appear to be anything for me to do with the jellyfish that are frozen there. So there's a spoiler Discord that you can add a Twitch streamer to, and it will make a channel dedicated to that user so the chat can talk about spoiler stuff without the streamer knowing. Ah, I see. Well, I apologize, I do not stream on Twitch. I just started out on YouTube because I did other content beforehand, and then when I was like, hey, I guess I'll try my hand at streaming, I was like, well, I already use the YouTube platform, so I guess I'll just stick with it. Okay, so I don't think I saw an actual seed. Like, I don't think I saw a spot where I can enter that leads to another place. That's all the ghost matter. Let's check underneath, maybe? So I was under the impression that every dark bramble seed has a little like pocket that leads to other areas of presumably the dark bramble. But I'm not seeing one here, which is a little puzzling to me. The only assumption that I can really make is that it is locked away from me because of the ghost matter. Okay, so I have not made any progress on I've not made any progress on ghost matter. I don't feel like I've made any progress. Have I seen one of those seeds elsewhere? We saw a seed on Timberhearth. I think that's it. You know what? I'm gonna just put my ship down real quick, and we'll just go through the ship's log. So I guess we'll start with Timberheart. So we have seen the Dark Bramble Seed here. We've looked into it with the little scout. See, I've gone to the Know My Mines. I've uttered about the Quantum Cave or the Quantum Grove. So then after Timberhearth, I went to the Addle Rock, looked at the eye signal locator, talked to Esker, went to the lunar lookout. I might not have gone around all of the Addle Rock. There might be something that I missed. I'm not recalling anything off the top of my head. After the Addle Rock, we went to the Brittle Hollow. So stopped by Rybek's camp. We made our way down into the Hanging City, found the murals, went to the top of the Tower of Quantum Knowledge, figured out the White Hole Station. Not spoiler, just wanted to confirm you know of rumor mode in the ship log. I've seen some people never use it because they didn't know they could do it. Yes, I have used rumor mode extensively. I'm just currently going through by planet because that's how I'm plotting the information for you guys. If you think that rumor mode would be a better way of presenting, like, hey, this is all the stuff that I've seen, I'm certainly happy to go through all this information in rumor mode. Cool, just double checking. Appreciate it. Where were we? Tower of Quantum Knowledge. I don't actually know what the Black Hole Forge does. Initially, I thought that activating the Black Hole Forge is what caused bits of the Brittle Hollow to fall into the black hole. But I realize now that that is just on a timer. So the Black Hole Forge is still a black hole to me. And then we've discovered the gravity cannon, we've fired the ship out and figured out it doesn't actually navigate to anywhere in particular. So then after the Brittle Hollow, I went to the Ember Twin. So we figured out that the you can travel with the quantum shards by touching them and then ceasing to observe them. So turn the light off. We've made our way into the high energy lab. We've looked at the designs of the teleporters on the Ash Twin. Poked our heads into the Angler Fossil Cave. Talked to Chert on the escape pod. We walked through the Sunless City. There's still one area that is blocked off by ghost matter that we have not explored. Looked at the Quantum Moon Locator. checked out the lake bed cave, which is how we learned about the quantum mechanic. Checked out the other gravity cannon. Ash Twin, we've walked through, I think, all of the towers. We have not found our way into the Ash Twin project. So maybe that is something that I can make progress on. So then after checking out the Hourglass Twins, I went to Giant Steep, talked to Gabbro, made it to the top, the end of the Tower of Quantum Trials, looked at the Statue Island workshop, learned that each statue is tied to a single individual and uploads all of their memories into a central databank. We've discovered that the center of Giant's Deep is shrouded in this electric field, which I don't know how to get through yet. And we also learned that the module from the orbital probe launcher is most likely stuck within the electric field. I have not figured out a way to get through the electric field, so that once again feels like a bit of a wall. And I did poke my head into the orbital probe cannon, so we've made our way into the launch module, which is the one that is exposed to the vacuum of space. There was the one module that was completely intact, which I don't know why there isn't like more information on it. It should be this one. I don't know why it's just a question mark. So maybe that is worth revisiting. And then the probe module is the one that is probably at the center of Giant's Deep. And then after that, I checked out the interloper and then once again got stuck trying to get around a ghost matter. And that's everything that I did prior to this stream. And this stream, I've just tossed myself at the Dark Bramble and tried to figure out what is going on with it. I've figured out how to navigate around anglerfish, but that's basically all of the information that I've gained since starting this stream, which was 2 hours ago. So I don't have a path forward on Giant's Deep. I think my only options right now are double checking the Owl Rock to make sure I didn't miss anything, and then double checking the Ash Twin to make sure that I didn't miss the way of getting into the Ash Twin project. I could have sworn that I'd traveled the Ash Twin pretty extensively, but I could be wrong. I may have just missed it. I certainly would not put it past myself to miss something like that. I've definitely missed more significant details in the past. So, certainly willing to give it a shot. Also, it was only very recently that I realized that everything changes with the passage of time. Originally, it was just like the things that were explicitly stated that happened that I thought was like, oh, okay, yeah, these are changes that happen. So like the bits of the brittle hollow falling off into the black hole, that was like, okay, yeah, this is definitely something that happens. And then similarly, the sand on the hourglass twins, that was also very much like, okay, yeah, this is clearly something that happens. But beyond that, I didn't realize that like basically everything changes some amount of time. I don't know if I've really explored this crater. No, I definitely have. I don't think there was anything of note here. I'm pretty sure I walked around basically all of it. I don't believe... Interesting. Chert research notes. Property of Chert. This is an old crater. The neat thing here is that the composition of the samples I took from the impact site matches the composition of the ice on the outskirts of Dark Bramble. I'd posit the Addle Rock was hit by a piece of the planet that used to be where Dark Bramble now lies. The Addle Rock was hit with a piece of the planet that used to be where Dark Bramble now lies. To follow up on, maybe there are more fragments of the old planet Dark Bramble destroyed on other astral bodies in the solar system. Okay, well, I don't believe I've encountered that recording before. So, at least this trip was fruitful in that way. Let's see, is there anything else of note? I assume this just leads us out of the crater. That appears to be the case. All right, in that case, I will return to my ship. And we'll fly around the Addle Rock a little bit more. And I should also double check my ship's log just to see if that updated anything. Okay, so that is the locator. That is Chert's landing site. That is, or sorry, not Chert's landing site, that is Esker's landing site and Esker's camp. That is the observation platform. I think that's everything. Okay, I think that is everything. So the ice was also on Giant's Deep, where it has frozen the jellyfish. Is there anything I can do with that information? Let me double check my ship's log first. It does not appear that we have any new information to look at. Okay. So I guess I will head off to the Ash Twin. And hopefully, is this taking me around the far side of the sun? I think it's going to launch me straight into the sun. Okay, I think this is the correct way. So I think the plan is to try and find a way into the Ash Twin project. Because once again, I don't really feel like I have much of a path forward on any other... I don't really have any other leads. So to the best of my understanding, everything on the equator is a teleporting tower. And then the towers on the poles are related to the Ash Twin project. I don't believe that I've found a door. Okay, well, maybe I just never managed to poke my head around. Wait, no, this is still on the equator. That's not the right tower that I'm looking for. Let's try that again. Okay. Okay, so this is a solar array. Have I been here before? Okay. I think up above us there was a... Oh. Alright, let's try that again. Okay, this is an exit. Right. We knew that this was an exit. It comes out at the top of the tower. And that's the case for both towers. Both the North Pole Tower and the South Pole Tower. If I remember correctly, they're both exits. Which is why I was like, I don't think I have a way into the Ash Twin project. I thought I had been around for the sand to get really low, but maybe I was never around the poles when the sand was low. So it's quite possible that I just missed whatever entrance there might be for the Ash Twin project. So I guess we'll just hang out here for a little bit and see where this goes. So I mentioned this briefly a bit earlier. The other content that I make on this channel is translated covers for the most part. So I'll take a song that is usually in Chinese, occasionally in Japanese, and then I'll write English lyrics for it and then record it, put it to the instrumental track, and then depending on how I'm feeling, I might make a video for it. So I'm frequently unable to watch other streams while I'm working on this stuff, because a lot of it is just very audio heavy. So I have a passing understanding of Chinese. It was my first language. It was the language that my parents spoke to me growing up. But once I entered the English school system, my brain was like, nope, I cannot handle processing two different languages at once. And because English is what I need to use for school, that's the one I'm going to stick with. So my level of Chinese are my parents from China. So they both immigrated from Taiwan. My father's side of the family was in China before his parents' generation. My mother's family had been in Taiwan for a very long time, several generations prior. So this is actually something that I learned fairly recently. Um, my my father's father was in the Chinese military and was sent to Taiwan because before his arrival, Taiwan was under Japanese rule. And he was sent there when the power was being transferred back to China. And then while he was stationed at Taiwan, the Cultural Revolution happened. And because he was a soldier under the government that is now the government of Taiwan, he ended up stuck in Taiwan. And his wife, my grandmother, I guess the best way of putting it, at the time was not his wife, but she had gone to Taiwan to visit him, and then similarly gotten stuck. Okay, I don't think this sand level is... Okay, it is still decreasing. I do hope that we find an entrance at the bottom of all this. Otherwise, I apologize for sticking around and waiting for nothing. My grandmother, like, wasn't married to him at the time, but because she went and visited at the wrong time, she ended up just like stuck in Taiwan. So while I do have relatives that are in China, I've never had communication with them, and I don't think my dad has either. And then my parents, independently of each other, came to the States to for graduate school, and then met each other in the States. So my level of Chinese is probably stuck around like a 6-year-old level, which is around the time that I sort of switched to using English. Even though my parents were very keen on sending me to Chinese school throughout the majority of my youth. So when I first started this channel, I was functionally illiterate, but I sort of started this project as a motivator to study and improve my Chinese. And it's not the most efficient way of improving a language, because there's so much other work that I put into these projects that isn't just like directly learning Chinese. And if my only goal was to become fluent and become literate, then like it would be far more efficient for me to just be like, okay, I am going to do flashcards. Okay, it looks like that is still going up. I assume that the Ash Twin project has something like at the core of the planet, so I was kind of expecting something that would take us further down. But this appears to just be going up. I'm not sure if I should wait for the sand to continue to recede, or if I should poke my head to the other... Okay, it looks like we're out of sand. So I don't think there's anything else for me to discover around this tower. It looks like... Okay, yeah, it just goes up. Okay, so if that is the case, I guess I will poke my head onto the tower on the other pole. And I will hope that there is an entrance there. I don't necessarily have high hopes that there's an entrance there, given that I feel like I've spent a bunch of time puttering about the Ash Twin when the sand was all gone. I would think that I would have discovered something, but hey, I've been wrong before. This is so this is the other pole. I'm pretty sure I've been to the top of this tower. Wait, did I just pass like another level? Okay, yeah, I just went through this entrance for it. Okay, so I don't have any more answers on how to get into the Ash Twin project. So once again, I'm feeling a little bit stuck. I guess at this point I'm kind of tempted to just like wander the planet and see if there's anything else for me to discover, but I'm pretty sure I've navigated around here for the most part. Well, there's our good friend the supernova, so I think this is about as far as we're going to get. Well, I don't feel like I've made very much progress this stream, which was kind of what I was afraid of. When I was talking with my friend who had initially recommended this game, and I was like, hey, you know, I feel like I'm kind of stuck. And he pointed me in the direction of the Dark Bramble, and, you know, told me to trust my instincts on navigating around the anglerfish. So I was kind of hoping that the Dark Bramble would lead to... Side question, do you consider specific game mechanics as spoilers? Like, there are some quality of life things that would help sometimes, but won't help with the actual mystery or anything. At this point, given that I feel like I've hit some walls, I would be willing to accept help and or direction that you are willing to offer. That said, this is right around the time that I typically end my stream anyways, so I think I will go ahead and do that. So for those of you who have not been around before, this won't necessarily help with the direction to go, but you can sleep at a campfire to speed up time. You know, I had tried that. I'd done that when I, like, for the very first life that I played, because, you know, the first thing that you do is, like, you go and sit at the fire and you cook a marshmallow. But once again, because it was only very recently that it clicked that, like, oh, like, time is a very important mechanic and affects everything in the game. I just kind of ignored that mechanic for a while because I didn't really think that there was anything that... I didn't think it was tied to anything. It's been a fun stream, even though you haven't learned anything, you have learned stuff that isn't worth investigating. That's very true. That's very true. And I do appreciate your tips along the way. It definitely helps me feel that I'm not going completely insane. So for those of you who have not been around before, I like to end all of my streams with a poem. So Today, because we spent so much time with our good friends, the anglerfish, today's poem is The Fish by Elizabeth Bishop. I caught a tremendous fish and held him beside the boat, half out of the water with my hook fast in a corner of his mouth. He didn't fight. He hadn't fought at all. He hung a grunting weight, battered and vulnerable and homely. Here and there his brown skin hung in strips like ancient wallpaper, and its pattern of darker brown was like wallpaper. Shapes like full-blown roses, stained and lost through age. He was speckled with barnacles, fine rosettes of lime, and infested with tiny white sea lice, and underneath 2 or 3 rags of green weed hung down. While his gills were breathing in the terrible oxygen, the frightening gills fresh and crisp with blood that can cut so badly, I thought of the coarse white flesh, packed in like feathers, the big bones and the little bones, the dramatic reds and blacks of his shiny entrails, and the pink swim bladder of a big peony. I looked into his eyes, which were far larger than mine, but shallower and yellowed. The irises backed and packed with tarnished tinfoil seen through the lenses of old, scratched isinglass. They shifted a little, but not to return my stare. It was more like the tipping of an object toward the light. I admired his sullen face, the mechanism of his jaw, and then I saw that from his lower lip, if you could call it a lip, grim, wet, and weapon-like, hung 5 old pieces of fish line, or 4 and a wire leader with the swivel still attached, with all 5 of their hooks grown firmly in his mouth. A green line frayed at the end where he had broke it, 2 heavier lines, and a fine black thread still crimped from the strain and snap when it broke and got away. Like metals, with the ribbons frayed and wavering, a 5-haired beard of wisdom trailing from his aching jaw. I stared and stared, and victory filled up the little rented boat. From the pool of bilge, where oil had spread a rainbow around the rusted engine, to the bailer rusted orange, the sun-cracked thwarts, the oarlocks on their strings, the gunnels, until everything was rainbow, rainbow, rainbow. And I let the fish go. The Fish by Elizabeth Bishop. That got kind of dark quick. Yeah, a little bit, but it ended on a positive note. Thank you, as always, for hanging out. I hope you enjoyed the stream. If you liked what you saw, my next stream will be on Tuesday, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. I will be back with another Crab's Treasure. I think I am just about at the final boss? Question mark? I think I'm at least in the final area. And if you are specifically looking for more Outer Wilds, I will be back with Outer Wilds next week on Thursday, once again at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I hope to see you then. Take care, folks.